yesterday, and it's not my first time trying. But it feels kind of hard, right? It's like, this is tricky. How am I ever going to get the hang of this? But you have to imagine, people couldn't go to Walmart or the grocery store to get their meals. They were outside hunting pretty much every day trying to see if they could get their food. They would be stalking their animal for days at a time, chasing it. And if you think about it, hunger's a pretty good motivator to learn a new skill, wouldn't it? If you're really hungry, you really want to get really good at this. And the people who were using atlatls could pinpoint accurately take down large animals from huge distances. Now these guys were being used all the way up until settlers came into North America, because we didn't have these trade routes coming into Asia where bows were being distributed. I've been looking for this area. So these people were still using atlatls for a very long time. Hey, that was actually pretty good. I was supposed to miss. But you have to use a lot more force. Now don't throw. Is an extension of your arm that lets you get a lot more force into it. You can get a lot more distance with it, and you end up being a lot less tired after throwing a lot of them. We're gonna try one more time. Y'all ready? Ready your atlatl? Keep everything nice and straight. Got your tip on your target. And 1, 2, 3.
Bird this one is. He's a red-tailed hawk. So this is Mary Catherine. Mary Catherine is our seasonal interpretive ranger from Choctaw State Park. Just graduated from Freed Hardeman. We have a very strong seasonal program with Tennessee State Parks. So we hire about 90 interns to work in the summer Some of them work on up into the fall, typically trying to get full-time. So Mary Catherine is going to be my banner today and actually carry around the birds. She's much more photogenic than I am. So I'm primarily going to talk and let her be photogenic and actually carry the birds around. So this is our red-tailed hawk. So this is a daytime bird of prey. So daytime birds of prey, daytime animals are called diurnal. Most people know what nighttime animals are called, nocturnal, but daytime are diurnal. So this is the red-tail. Red-tails are one of the most common big birds of prey in the United States, found literally from Alaska to Mexico, east coast to the west, deserts, forests, swamps, plains. They moved into town. They're very, very adaptable. They live almost everywhere, and one of the reasons they live almost everywhere is they eat almost everything. So that red-tail weighs in at about 3 pounds. Most of their food is from 3 pounds down. So they're not going to take something really, really big. But pretty much anything you can think of running around out here or flying around here that weighs less than 3 pounds is potential food for the red-tail. So they do really, 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 really well. Some of the other daytime hawks are very food specific. They only eat 1 or 2 things. So sometimes they don't do as well because food supply impacts them more. Or red-tails are generalists. Like when you go to the Chinese buffet and you eat everything on the buffet, that's a red-tail. You go to the snail kite and he only eats snails. So when snails get in trouble, they get in trouble, and that's true of several other birds of prey. So very, very food generalist. So and if I repeat something, I'm going to apologize right now. This is the 10th program since Friday morning. Just going to throw that out there. So if I repeat something, just go with it. So in the Native American world, generally, in most cultures, the daytime birds of prey are considered messengers to the upper world. I always tell this story. A good friend of mine that's a Native American, I've worked with for years, very good friends with. Her name's Bobby. She couldn't be here today. So I'm not very politically correct, okay? I'm trying to do better. So Bobby fussed at me because I used to say that older Native Americans typically bleed. And Bobby fussed at me because she said that insulted her because she didn't like to be referred to as an older Native American, even though she's my age. And I said, okay, Bobby, would it make you feel better if I say more traditional Native American? She said, oh, I would much rather be traditional than old. So I'm going to try to refer to more traditional instead of old. So typically, in the traditional Native American world, the daytime birds of prey are messengers to the upper world. So when traditional Native Americans want to do a prayer ceremony, a religious ceremony, and send the prayers up to the Great Spirit, they like to use daytime bird of prey feathers or the entire wing as part of that religious ceremony. Now you, as a European descendant, cannot go out and get bird of prey feathers or wings or parts and have them and use them. It's against federal law. The way that we have this bird is we have an environmental education permit to use for environmental education. Native Americans can get a religious permit to use parts and feathers as part of the religious ceremonies. So the daytime birds of prey, messengers to the upper world. Now, in traditional Native American world, every person has a totem animal, a spirit guide that guides them through life. Now, one of the tricks to that, though, is you don't get to choose your totem animal. Your totem animal chooses you. And you share characteristics, traits, beliefs, feelings, attitudes, demeanor, that you share things with your totem animal. So we got Bard, so the 4 owls that live here, Bard, Barn, Screech, and Great Horn. Those live here, nest here, never leave Tennessee. migratory owls that come in for the winter, long-eared, short-eared, burrowing, and snowy owls occasionally migrate in for the winter. The other owl that lives in upper East Tennessee in the mountains, non-migratory, is the sawwhet. So those are about the 8 owl species that live in Tennessee. So in the Native American world, the owl is typically considered the messenger to where? To the underworld. A creature of the darkness, active after dark. So, once again, slightly different beliefs across different cultures, but overall, the owl is a messenger to the underworld. We had a lady here at one of the earlier programs that when we got the owl out, she covered her eyes. She didn't want the owl to look into her soul. A good friend of mine that's Native American, Bobby and I used to set up together. She just couldn't be here this weekend. They do a big Native American dance, Native American music. Anyway, so Bobby used to always say, "You brought that danged owl again, and something bad's going to happen to me because I had to be around your owl for this whole weekend." And he always said something, the owl's going to cause something bad to happen to me. So a couple of years ago we were here, and I hadn't even got to the interstate, and my phone rang, and I looked down and it said Bobby, and she said, "Your owl just caused me to have a flat tire, and I need you to come back and change it for me." And I had to turn around and come back down Highway 45 and stop and change her flat tire because it was the owl's fault that she had a flat tire leaving here going home. I sent her a message yesterday, said, "Missing you at Pinson, hate you couldn't be here," and the owl says hi. Ha ha ha. A smiley emoji, smiley emoji, smiley emoji. And she sent back, "Miss you too, ha 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 ha." So, Bobby, traditional Native Americans a lot of times have a big issue with the owl. They said when a hunting party or a war party left the village, daytime, an owl flew across, landed on a limb, looked down at them, and went, "Whoo!" They turned around and went home. Something bad was going to happen. Bad omen, bad luck, danger. A lot of traditional Native Americans just really do not like the owl at all. Has anybody ever done the
The
Alaska?
dance is performed by Choctaws, and for that matter, by all Native American people. We always try to convey a meaning and express our feelings of the people in a very manifest way. Before the white man came, the Choctaws farmed, fished, and hunted the fertile hills and valleys of the Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. They were the most numerous tribes in the area and generally lived in peace with their neighbors. The drum of the Choctaws usually summoned the tribe to feasts instead of war. In those times, the beat of the drum was a symbol of festival. The drum would beat for days in anticipation of the celebration. The Choctaw Indians followed the sound of the drum to the site of the dance and stickball game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the West Tennessee Choctaw Social Dancers. Our first dance that we will do for you this evening is called Tolobli Hitha. Excuse me. This first dance the Choctaw Indians would perform was used when warriors had gone hunting and brought back an abundance of food. Many special celebrations of the feast were planned in advance by detailing one sub-chief to supply animal meat, another to supply fruits and nuts, and another to supply vegetables. When all game, vegetables, fruits, and nuts were assembled, this was an occasion for a dance of joy, and all ages made their contribution towards this dance. This is called the jump dance. We're going to add Showy Hitha into our program this evening. The raccoon, commonly called the coon, also enjoyed a wide respect among the Choctaws and for several reasons. Its skin was used for winter clothing or for making small pouches, his tail for ornamentation, his flesh for food. His bones were baked and then pounded into a mortar until powdered and mixed with the clay in order to make a better type of pottery. His greatest attributes were his courage and ferocity in battle. Both qualities were so highly prized that another dance commemorates this animal. This dance imitates young raccoons at play. This is called the coon dance. Show-da-da-dee-ya, show-da-da-dee-ya, show-da-da-dee-ya.